Well, it's almost December and it is officially the worst time to be a fight fan because the UFC and multiple promotions begin to take their breaks, either that or just have events like few and far in between, and we have to wait through the entirety of December all the way until January to get some regular fight cards again. I want to ask you guys, what do you do when there's no UFC? Because I would imagine the majority of people who watch my channel are also very, very invested in MMA. Regardless, probably going to be a quick video. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels, guys. Let's talk about what we do. So I find myself sitting here, and even just now, we're going to have a 1 weekend break from UFC. I'm so excited for the next card, by the way. And I'm sitting here, I'm recording this video on Thursday, and typically on Thursdays, I prepare my full card breakdown, my betting guides, get the betting stuff ready, get excited for the weekend, get excited for the fights, and now I'm like, well, what video am I going to upload? Now I'm kind of uploading like this useless video, and there's always stuff to talk about in MMA, don't get me wrong, but I like getting so excited for cards every single week, and every single time, and I never understand, every time that UFC has a break, or just even 1 week off, I hate the idea that so many people want fight cards to be like this usually, where we have like cards like 310 that are incredibly stacked. It's awesome on those days, but it's not worth it. And don't get me wrong, of course, I don't hate that people have that opinion. I don't understand it. We're big MMA fans. We love watching martial arts. We love watching violence. And to get that every single week, I would definitely prefer that. The Apex events, yeah, the events could be better. The fighters could be better, but still, it's something to watch. And it's like, I don't know, I just make a really big day out of it. Like, I wake up really, really early in the morning, Saturday mornings, and for my work job, I have weekends off. I wake up on Saturday morning, maybe I just watch some fights on Friday night. I do all my YouTube work, my voiceover work, I get everything done. I get up at around 5 a.m., do a stream, head over to my mom's, and depending on the day, like what we've been doing recently is getting into Octagon. So we've been watching like the Octagon event at noon, UFC around 4 or 6 p.m. We'll switch over to then. I watch a TV show with my mom when I go over around 8 a.m. We've been watching Georgie and Mandy, wait for my dad to get up either. And if I don't go to my family's house, then I'll have some friends over at night. But still, like, I make a whole day out of it, and it's awesome. I get to go visit with my parents, bring the baby with me. My wife gets a nice day off, and then she gets all happy. Like, it's just a really cool thing for me in general to have fights on. And I've been bonding watching fights with my family. Like, we have my uncles over, my cousins, like, it's just a nice family get-together that we have every single weekend, and it's the highlight of my week. It's not necessarily the event, but I love watching UFC, these fights. I'm so invested in them, but I make a whole day out of it. My dog has a good time because she socializes with so many people at my mom's house. If I'm having friends over, we'll have a great time because we're just going to drink, watch some fights, laugh together, and my mom, like, whether or not she just makes a meal or we just get a bunch of Chinese food, like, UFC is the highlight of my week, and I'm not one of those people who live for the weekend. Don't get me wrong. Like, I know it's going to sound egotistical, but I'm somebody who enjoys every day. I enjoy mundane life. I enjoy, like, just taking my dog out. I enjoy sitting down on the computer doing my work, like, hanging out with my wife. I enjoy every single day, but when it comes for Saturday, when the time comes and it's Saturday, I find myself like, oh, man, I'm not going out today. Like, that's just it. And I'm at the point in my life where my friends are usually like busy. Like, usually I watch fights with my parents and my family. And every once in a while when like there's a really, really big card, my friends will get together. And even then, like, it's just, I'm at the point in my life, I'm 26 years old, where so many people are busy doing their own things, get with their own life. And it's a little bit more difficult to get together, but I'm incredibly thankful to have my family around. But my point being, it's just like, what am I going to do? And I always end up like, don't get me wrong, like I can go just do something with my wife, but it turns into something that I would typically do in a day. And I'm at a point in my life where it's difficult for my wife and I to go out on dates because we'll have to plan it in like a week in advance because we just had a kid. The kid obviously can't stay home. We have a dog with separation anxiety. But hey, actually, it kind of works out this week specifically because I have to record. And for those of you who don't know, of course, I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Fortnite's having a really huge event. I have a gaming channel, so I'm going to be able to play that event. Man, it's so horrible every single time there's an event in Fortnite because as a creator, I have to cover those things, right? I go to my mom's in the morning. We start watching some fights. I'm like, all right, watch a baby, watch the dog. I take off. I run all the way over to my house. And like my mom and I live like less than 5 minutes apart. I run all the way over here, record the video, push it out, get back in time for the fights, get back in time for dinner. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. That's the only time that I ever have to miss fights. And Fortnite probably has an event every couple months or so. But regardless, like if we're missing 1 week of UFC, at least it's a good week to miss. But what about like the entirety of December, man? There's so little fight cards, and I just don't like the fact that every Saturday for me personally is just going to be like an every other day. And I'm not going to sit here and be miserable or anything. Don't get me wrong. Like I enjoy regular life. I'm a very, very happy guy. I just look forward to Saturday. Make a whole day out of UFC. I love watching the sport. I love watching martial arts. I love getting together with my family. And I would imagine that for a lot of people, it's a kind of a similar thing. Now, I'm sure that I make a bigger day out of it than most people do, but a lot of people really enjoy UFC in the sense like that's what they do. That's what they dedicate every single Saturday for. They dedicate, if you're a hardcore fight fan, Fridays as well with LFA, One Championship, whatever it is. Like this weekend, I'm watching Lux. I've watched like 2 Lux events before in my life, but hey, it's some MMA, it's some martial arts, it's some violence. I'm going to sit down. I have like the beautiful life when it comes to this thing, man, because and again, when we have a really, really huge card, I'll get together with my friends, I'll have some people over, we'll make a really fun day out of it. But what we've been doing for so long is Fridays, we've been having like family night. My wife, man, she is a fantastic cook. Fantastic cook. We'll sit together, we'll watch some fights. The baby will go to bed around 7, 8 p.m. She sleeps through the night. I had lucked out with the kid, by the way. Lucked out with the kid. She doesn't wake up. She sleeps straight through the night. It's awesome. But so we put her to bed. My wife makes an incredible meal. My wife will sit down, watch some fights with me. My wife isn't really interested in the fights. She's one of those people that gets a little bit like sick to herself watching that much violence, but she likes to hang out, cuddle. She'll go on her phone. She'll just like spend time with me. And she's one of those people that enjoys the fact that like I appreciate her cooking so much, which I do. It's fantastic. That she loves making the night out of it. She's like, you watch your fights, I'll make food, we'll hang out together, just like rub my back or something. I'm like, I got you. Like, and then I end up being like so full, and it's the best night ever. Watching One Championship, LFA, we're up till 1 a.m. I barely sleep the next day, and I'm weird. I can run off of no sleep. And then I have that nice day that I described on Saturday. Get my work done in the morning, go to my mom's house, I'll watch a show with my mom, my dad will get up, my uncles will come over, my cousins, whoever's coming over, we'll have a big dinner. Like, I love life. I love the Monday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday, I guess you could say, but I make a big day out of it. And I don't know if anybody else does that. So like, I want to ask, what do you guys do when there's no UFC on? Do you guys go out? Because I don't imagine like, if you're a hardcore UFC fan, you probably don't go out that much because you spend your Saturdays watching fights. Unless you're one of those guys who like watches at a bar or something. Again, I'd love to know what you guys think and like, what do you guys do for a routine? Because I make like a whole thing out of it. And I'm sure that a lot of people can feel similar to it. And I'm sure there's also the random fight fans who just don't really do anything and they just watch them. And yeah, like I was saying earlier, I just do not understand why so many MMA fans would rather have cards like UFC 310 and not have fights every single weekend. Because I find myself like, oh my God, what am I going to do on a Saturday? It affects the content as well. I love making MMA content. Here I am talking about how I'm not doing anything. I'm going to get into tier list content. I'm going to be getting into just maybe fighters trash talking. I don't know. There's going to be content pretty well every single day for you guys. I want to know what you do when there's no UFC and whether or not you prefer to have fight cards every week or to have giant stat cards like UFC 310. Regardless, it's going to be amazing. But speaking of tier list content, like I just said, why don't you check out this video on screen right now, ranking every single one of my favorite moments in MMA history. I would love to have you guys over there. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.